I don't really know what this is about necessarily, but the guy who so as we all know, there was a guy named Cole Allen who you know, was definitely not set up by the CIA, like directed by Trump to go and pretend like he was going to shoot up the president. I'm not trying to play too much into the conspiracy theories, but a lot of people think that it was fake, that it was all just a staged event. But anyway, so Cole Allen, he's on trial right now. They got his trial going real fast, man. So he is, they must have had an agreement, right? The Cole Allen, when he was being talked to it by his CIA handler, was like, I'm not going to be in jail for too long, right? Like, I'm not doing this if you're going to. So they're like, okay, no, we'll get that trial going right away. Anyway, apparently the federal judge in charge of his trial has apologized to him. And this, according to Fox News, is shocking. We'll see. Maybe I'll be shocked. Maybe I won't be. I don't know why he apologized to him. So let's go ahead and watch this video from Fox News. Let's see what's so shocking about this federal judge apologizing to Cole Allen.
Federal judge in D.C.
Fox and Friends
apologizing to the man accused of attempting to assassinate President Trump at the White House Correspondents Association dinner. Quote,
they're not doing him any justice with this court drawing, by the way.
What am I to say to Cole Allen? That this is going to be a fair process if we're putting him in a safe cell when he's not supposed to be in there. At a minimum, I should be apologizing to him. We are obligated to make sure he's taken care of. Mr. Allen, I'm sorry that things have not been the way they are supposed to.
He's not wrong. You're, obviously you are innocent until proven guilty in this country, right? You're supposed to be like according to the rules of this country, you're only supposed to be put in horrid, abhorrent, like slave-like conditions once you are actually in prison. Until that point, you're supposed to be presumed innocent and be like given at least a little bit of like not like either being posted for bail, like you can go home, or not being treated like a presumed criminal or whatever. Like that is kind of like a basic fact of our country. Maybe the Fox News people aren't very aware of that.
End quote. This comes just a few hours after the suspect was taken off temporary suicide watch.
Still don't know if he shot him right there or not.
He's due back in court on May 11th for a preliminary hearing. Constitutional attorney Mark Smith joins me now. Mark, I'm going to give this judge a little bit of a lesson. While you are entitled to an objectively fair trial,
I appreciate
you
the sub.
are not entitled to a subjectively fair incarceration. It's supposed.
Wait, sorry, I missed what he said there.
Entitled to a subject joins me now. Mark, I'm going to give this judge a little bit of a lesson. While you are entitled to an objectively fair trial, you are not entitled to a subjectively fair incarceration. It's supposed to be tough. That is how we deter people from committing crimes in the first place, by making jail tough and not the 4 seasons. Your thoughts on this shocking comment by this judge?
First of all, he's not in jail. I just told you the way America works is, yes, American jails are shitty. They suck. They're terrible. And they make you do slave labor for like 25 cents an hour. Like, yeah, America's prison system sucks. However, the part before you're actually, before a jury decides if you're guilty or not is not supposed to be that bad, because we have a presumption of innocence. I've been told this for my entire life. Maybe I misunderstood it, apparently.
Well, Todd, I mean, you were there at the dinner and you know this.
I don't even know what conditions he was in. It sounds like they might have put him in solitary or something. They haven't been super clear, I feel like, on exactly what the conditions. Maybe they mentioned it at the beginning, I just missed it, but it sounded like something like related to solitary.
Judge.
Well, Todd, I mean, you were there at the dinner, and you know this guy, based on the video evidence and his comments, was trying to kill as many people as possible, including the President of the United States. So, in my view, it's simply crazy for Judge Farrakwi here to criticize the conditions in which he has been currently held, because not only, obviously, has he demonstrated on videotape, no less, that he is a danger to other people, he also, by virtue of reports, indicate he was not planning on surviving this attack, which suggests there's suicidal.
I don't know what they're talking about. All I see is a Second Amendment loving patriot right here. The Second Amendment. He loved the Second Amendment so hard that he just wanted to run into the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and he wanted to personally hand his signed gun to Donald Trump. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to sign this gun and be like, this is to Donald Trump, my favorite president, and for protecting the Second Amendment. And he was going to run in there as fast as he could and just give him the gun. That's what I think was going on. And according to U.S. law, we are supposed to presume that that is what he was doing until he is found guilty. Okay, people, that's what I'm telling you. I've heard this before. I'm not just making this up. I've heard that before.
Which means he's a danger to himself. And based on that evidence, it made sense for the Department of Prisons to basically keep him protecting from himself, protecting from others in a particular way. That is not unusual. And I think for the judge to criticize that, frankly, makes no sense. And I thought it's sort of a reckless comment, frankly.
Very reckless. U.S. Attorney for D.C.
What's this? Let's see what his background looks like. One sec.
I thought it's sort of a reckless comment, frankly.
Very
disarmed. Israel disarmed. First, they came for the gun owners. Okay, buddy. You don't seem like a very Second Amendment kind of guy if you're getting mad at this guy for just wanting to go give the president a bunch of guns for having, like, look at how much this guy loves guns, and you're telling me that he should be in solitary confinement. I thought that you liked the Second Amendment according to your books, but I don't know. I'm not buying it. I think that I like the Second Amendment more than he does at this point, given my commentary so far.
Jeanine Pirro writing on X, quote, "Welcome to Washington, D.C., where U.S. Magistrate Judge Farrakwi believes a defendant armed to the teeth in attempting to assassinate the president is entitled to preferential treatment,
allegedly,
in his confinement compared to every other defendant." And you know how we know this judge made this political mark. He said Cole Allen is being treated worse than the January 6th defendants. One big problem with that. January 6th, not a banner day. We can all admit that. But nobody was trying to assassinate the president on January.
Wait, what? No one was trying to assassinate the president. They were just trying to assassinate the vice president and every other member of Congress. Like, what are they talking about? This is not a good argument. You got to get better, man. You got to get better. Do not ever become a lawyer because your arguments, like, they suck. They're garbanzo.
January 6th. Your thoughts, Mark?
Well, Todd, yeah, I think the comparison to January 6th, which was essentially a glorified trespass case, and remember, many of those charges against the January 6th defendants were thrown out by none other than the United States Supreme Court itself. But I think that what this really is the tip of the iceberg, Todd.
Everybody believes that that was completely not politically motivated.
In that it shows that the problems and challenges that the Department of Justice and Jeanine Pirro is going to have in getting a conviction here, even though you have videotape evidence, you have admissions, you have selfies about what this guy was going to do and then did, still you are going to be in front of a DC jury, in front of a DC judge, many of whom...
See, this is what I call a classic, like, a classic, like, low... setting people's expectations lower. I don't know if there's a word for that. There's probably a word for that. But this is where they know, okay, Judge Jeanine Pirro has not had the best track record so far in terms of her prosecutions. I mean, maybe I should look that up just to make sure. Jeanine Pirro conviction rate. 50%. Notably below the 90% average for the Department of Justice. So on average, the DOJ gets 90% convictions. So far, Judge Jeanine Pirro has gotten 50% Okay. So she's not very good at this. Okay, people. She's a TV host. She's a TV personality. I don't think she's been doing law for like 20 years before she got this job. So I think they're really just trying to set the expectations lower now that like this guy is probably going to walk. They also tried to charge him with assassinating with the president, which I don't think that they're going to be able to prove, or like attempted assassination of the president. I don't think they're going to be able to prove that. So I don't know, man. This is, yeah, they I think they just know that this guy's probably going to walk, just like the Charlie Kirk dude or whatever is probably going to walk, because the entire DOJ is filled with like baboons pretending to be lawyers.
May have some version of Trump derangement syndrome, and one does wonder if that's going to pose a real challenge to a conviction in this case, despite the apparently strong evidence against Cole Allen here. But I think it is a challenge for the Department of Justice they're going to have to confront.
I'd like to look at this in a different way. Maybe they're trying their best to make sure there's nothing on appeal that can be appealed.
Okay, let's see these charges. Count 1, attempt to assassinate the president of the United States. That's the one I think they're going to have the hardest time with. Count 2, transportation of a firearm and ammunition in interstate commerce with intent to commit a felony. They can probably get him on that. Because I do think they could prove that he was like, he wanted to go in there, like attempted murder or something. I just think the president of the United States part is going to get like thrown out. Discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence. They say that they've proven that. I still don't know if I buy their evidence yet that he actually fired the gun. I haven't seen it. The video doesn't look like I couldn't tell that he actually fired or not. So we'll see what evidence they got for that. So I'd say that number 2 is the one that they're most likely to get a conviction on.
But to your point, boy, if that's the case, that is not the mindset that I had 10 days ago in that dinner, that whoever did this was going to potentially get off. It's just wild. Before we let you go, Meta back on trial in New Mexico, threatening to pull Instagram and Facebook in the state as the state pushes for major changes to how the company's platforms protect children online. The New Mexico Attorney General.
Okay, I don't really care about this part. So there you go, people. That's what's going on. That's the new word from the Cole Allen case. The judge apologized him. The judge is clearly some woke libtard who just hates patriots and wants the president to die, apparently, according to these people. I think that my theory, though, is something that the defense should take into consideration. That he was just trying to he's just a Second Amendment loving patriot who is just trying to give his gun to the president. That's what I think. That's a good defense. I'm standing by it. Okay, people.